I'm Sofyen. I work today in Zurich for the Z Zurich Foundation, which is the corporate foundation of the Zurich Group. And the Z Zurich Foundation is one of those main avenues to create human impact. I graduated from the institute in 2007 with a master's degree in international relations. So interestingly, I chose at that time to study at the institute because I knew I wanted to dedicate my career, or at least part of it, to the humanitarian sector. I knew that I was genuinely interested in human beings, in how they develop. I wanted to bring this topic to the system level. And I thought that's great to observe how states in the world, how United Nations, NGOs are really dealing with these topics and how the world is actually developing. And I thought the institute was the right entry point for me to build my knowledge, my skills, to really contribute to this humanitarian field later on. I did a first internship in Eastern Chad where you had a dozen refugee camps with refugee individuals from Darfur. I had to deal with new factors in Chad, such as security management, unpredictability, crisis communication. And this I learned, I think, both ways as a result of what I learned at the Institute in terms of connecting the dots, the topics, the stakeholders, what is at stake. But also I think this brain agility, brain malleability that we can build at the Institute and shape accordingly could be leveraged in such complex contexts. Then I decided to continue my career in this sector. I went to Lebanon, a bit to Burundi. Then there were key milestones to refine my knowledge and help me to act accordingly and move on. This is one thing, plus I could access certain people like ICRC teams in Geneva, it was also IOM staff I could access because of the Institute card. Either because they were alumni themselves or because they could connect to the Institute as they were one day teaching, or they had peers being there, or one day it was their children being students. So it was an amazing card to put on the table to create access and to create knowledge. Then I applied to a job in Iraq with Save the Children, with whom I worked a year and a half approximately in Iraq and Syria. And then after this time on the field, after almost 7 years of back and forth, I thought I'll go back to Switzerland. Time has come to give more priority to my personal life, to my life with capital L, because changing the country, changing the colleagues, changing the team, changing the friends, every 6 months, every year had become difficult. Stars aligned. And there was, with Save the Children Switzerland office in Zurich, a position being created with exactly my profile. I applied and thought, if this works out, then time has come for me to come back to Switzerland. So I did, it worked out, I came back. I think it's interesting because since I graduated, I observed the Institute developing a lot in terms of area of expertise, but also about the soft skills that the students were able to build up along the way. And I observed that the Institute was trying to really connect more and more the students to the professional area. But on the top of it, surely, I think we cannot build up skills for every single job. So it's maybe more for the Institute to consider as well how it's possible to develop a critical mind for each student that then they will be able to bring to their upcoming new career arena and think about the soft skills they need to develop to survive. We forget it, but when we graduate from university, we are so young. We have a career most of the time of 40 years ahead of us. It's a marathon. I always speak to students from the Institute that I mentor sometimes that they have to inform their professional choices based on what they care the most about. They should not think about strategy around what do I start with and how my career would build up or how my visibility will be enhanced. This will happen if you inform your choice at start the right way. Today, the Institute enables everyone to really go for any type of career. There's such diversity that if we're not hearing from really what we care the most about as an individual and a professional, we'll go wrong. And the Institute gives a chance to really fine-tune our choice.